Now, this might be the most common problem I've seen in many people, students, and most of all myself. It's probably the most typical disease guitarists of all levels and ages suffer from. It's beating yourself up and judging yourself every step of the way. And another term for this diagnosis is called perfectionism. Some people do this more than others, but in general, I would say this is a very guitaristic phenomenon. And I've seen numerous students who knew all their scales and materials, did their homework, and there was nothing left to practice anymore at this point. But the negative self-talk and inner judging was so destructive that they basically put a bottleneck on their own progress. And as soon as I say try to improvise or play something simple, they freeze or stop just after a few bars. And you can literally hear the fear and the question marks coming through their sound. They have accumulated all pieces of the puzzle, but then stand in their own way because of perfectionism. It's this desire to be able to play something perfectly all the time, which comes with a fear of making mistakes. So fear will hinder you, and it's like putting on the brakes while driving. And it all starts with that judging voice in your head. If you can't let go of this nagging pressure to play everything perfectly, you will never be able to free yourself. Don't be overly focused on not making mistakes and not messing up. If you focus on not making mistakes, you're going to make mistakes. That's the irony. So there is no perfect, especially in jazz or any improvised rock solo. Welcome the mistakes, embrace the chaos and the unknown. So get comfortable with the uncomfortable on the guitar. Real experience also comes from dealing with unexpected imperfections and problems. So how you deal with quote-unquote mistakes is all part of the process. You will also gain experience from failure. Let me remind you that new knowledge can only be achieved through a process of trial and error. Don't think that you can play something immediately by understanding it intellectually. Reading something in a book or even in these videos will not instantly make you play it perfectly. You have to go through a process of trial and error. You could read 1,000 books about how to go surfing before trying it out for yourself. And I'm pretty sure you'll fall off that surfboard on your first day, no matter how much you've prepared for it intellectually. It's never, ever going to work out immediately. You need to have a balance between new incoming information and the experience of actually applying it. Now, here's the dichotomy. As I've mentioned in the previous Real Talk videos, you should always monitor your practice and double check your tactics regularly. So you obviously will need to question yourself along the way. But that doesn't mean you have to beat yourself up with a stick every time you make a mistake and lose all of your motivation. You need to have a healthy balance of re-evaluating what you're doing, giving yourself the space to mess up, readjust, and then move on, obviously. So when you make a mistake, don't even think of it as an error or messing up. Think of it as adjusting or testing. Think of yourself as a mad scientist doing science. It took Thomas Edison, supposedly, 10,000 attempts to create his first light bulb. Or think of yourself as a basketball player who practices his jump shots. You're not going to hit the basket every single time. That's the reason why you practice in the first place. So the music is your playing field and you have to keep your playfulness. Also, please notice that guitar players that seem more talented than you tend to give themselves a lot of space to make mistakes. They always keep a playful attitude, which frees them from messing up. They embrace the unknown and allow themselves to have fun. So being perfect is not part of their agenda at all. There's an approach of almost childlike enthusiasm to soloing, and as soon as the music or the solo starts, they're in the zone. Come hell or high water, they're in the moment and there's no room for negative self-talk. So whatever you want to achieve on the guitar is totally reachable. We as humans can all do much more difficult things than playing a strange scale in the key of F sharp or something. Some people build rockets that shoot into orbit, and some are designing nanochips, and others are healing diseases. And you seriously still believe you can play a great solo and enjoy yourself? You could have so much potential, why don't you just use it? Remind yourself that no matter how much success you will have practicing, you will always fail again anyway, but you will fail smarter every time. You'll be relentless in your efforts to learn as much as possible. Now, you know full well that there's likely more failure to come, because the only way to avoid failure altogether is to do nothing at all, and that's just not an option. If you are having trouble following the topics in this video, or you feel that you are missing some pieces to the puzzle to integrate all of this into your playing, then I would highly recommend that you check out my online courses. Sure, you can learn a lick on YouTube here and there and do some cobbling together, but if you don't have an understanding how all these pieces work together, then none of this will do or move the needle in your guitar playing, and everything will end up as a drop in the ocean. Don't be just a lifestyle guitar player who watches video after video for entertainment without ever getting anywhere. So treat your passion like a pro. At the end of the day, we all want to see real progress and know that we are on our path. And I will try my best to provide you with free content on here as much as possible. But if you are serious about evolving into a more advanced player, then I can't stress enough to you to join one of my online courses. I'll be with you every step of the way to help you finally unleash your full potential, and you can find the links in the description down below. Check out anrimaruyama.com to learn more about my online courses.